Alright. In this guide I will try to explain you the special effects on weapons and armor and accessories. There are lots of complicated terms here that may confuse even the best players, and I'll try to explain all of them. I might get some wrong, but most of them I will get it right. Let's start with the mid-attack damage on the sword. Mid-attack damage means that I will get an increased damage from mid-stance. With quick and strong attack, doesn't matter which one, but only from a mid-stance and for this weapon. The effects on a weapon applies only to that weapon. It does not mean that mid-attack damage will get increased for the second weapon, for Kusarigama that I have. No, it's only for the sword that I'm showing you. Grapple damage means that if the opponent is out of ki and you use the triangle button, you will do a finisher, or here it's called grapple, and that damage will be increased by the specified amount. Close combat attack ki reduction. That means that for this weapon, when you do any type of an attack, you will have a decreased ki usage. It is fantastic skill, that's why it's a rare one. Rarity goes from white to purple, white, yellow, blue, purple, purple being the rarest. As for the low attack break means, well, this is a more complicated one. It means that from a low stance only, you will do more ki damage to the opponent that is guarding, that is currently in a block. So it means ki damage to the opponent that is in block. Not the general one where he is out of block and you're damaging the guy and then you damage his ki as well. No, that's another stat. That's when it says ki damage. Close combat ki damage plus. That's, for example, a damage that you do to enemy that is not guarding, that is not in block. That you're in a normal fight and you slash him with a sword and he's not blocking. That's close combat ki damage, or mid stance ki damage, or low stance ki damage plus. Break means and only affects if and when you're damaging an opponent that is guarding. Ki will deplete more significantly because this stat directly increases the damage done to a ki while the opponent is guarding. For example, this is 10.9%. This is the break stat that I'm showing you below. It says it affects how severely an enemy guard is broken, which is a poor explanation, really. It doesn't explain that you're actually damaging the ki of the opponent. And parry is a counter stat. Parry means that you can take more shots while you're blocking, and your ki meter will deplete less severely. Let's say it like that. So these are counter stats, break and parry. That's what you need to understand. Break increases the amount of ki damage that you're doing to the blocking opponent, and parry means that you can take more strikes at your block and you will have more ki at your disposal, because it will reduce the ki usage when you're blocking an attack. Close combat life recovery means that whenever you do a close combat attack, which is a quick one or a strong one, doesn't matter what stance, you will have your life recovered by the specified amount only for this weapon. If it says low attack break in percentage, that means from a low stance your break will increase by the specified percentage. For example, if its base is 60, then it's going to be 66 if the percentage is 10%. If it says plus 6, then it's going to be plus 8 or plus 10, then it's going to be 68 or 70. That's the only difference from what I can understand. Let's talk about Kusarigama. Strong attack ki reduction. That means that with this weapon, when I'm doing a triangle attack, it will have the ki usage reduced, which is fantastic. Low attack break we already covered. Skill ki damage. This means that with every skill that you've learned for this weapon, Kusarigama skills, the ki damage that you do will be increased. Ki damage, as we said before, is when you do damage on your opponent that is not guarding. When you hit an opponent, you do normal damage and you do ki damage. That ki damage will be increased by the specified amount. Don't confuse these two. Now let's cover some of the bonuses on armor. Restores your prepared ninjutsu items when you finish using a living weapon. Now this can mean two things. It can mean that there's a 30% chance you're going to restore all of the items when a living weapon finishes, or there's a 30% of the restored items that you will get when you finish using a living weapon. I'm not sure what it does because I haven't paid attention enough. Anyway, receives ninjutsu technique power. That increases directly ninjutsu power. That's a stat that you can see under your status screen. Not status, but the stat screen. It's under ninjutsu tab. Increases damage in proportion to your skill with ninjutsu. This is the directly in relation to the one that I've just read. If you have more power in the ninjutsu skill, you're going to have more damage on your weapons. Simple as that. And A means what grade it is. A is the best grade that you can get. Now we are talking about the Warrior of the West bow set. Actually, Warrior of the West set. Skill damage. So increases damage of the specified skill. When you use Tiger Sprint, that skill will do more damage. But only if you use that sprint. Increases your attack and defense when imbued with a specified Guardian Spirit. Well, that's self-explanatory. You need to have a specific Guardian Spirit for that effect to take place. Increases close combat damage against electrified enemies. Electrify is a status effect. When you're using a lightning weapon, that means you're going to have a chance to put the status effect on an enemy. He will have that electrified thingy debuff under his health or whatnot, and when he does that, you will be, when he's electrified, when he has that debuff on him, you will do more damage to him by the specified amount. These are all pretty self-explanatory. I don't know what to say here. Ranged bullseye bonus means when you do a critical attack, which is usually when you hit them in the head, you will do increased damage by this amount. Break we already covered. It means that if the opponent is guarding, you will do more key damage to their guard. These are basic equipment item drop rate from humans or yokai. Nothing really needs explanation here. Let's talk about some other stats. Here we have Earth that gives you elemental attack damage. Skill key reduction. That means when you're using a skill for this weapon, for axes, the skills that you learned, the key will be reduced. Low attack break, we've covered that. Change to attack strength. That means that the scaling to a weapon damage will be based upon strength, which I'm not sure. Oh yeah, that's the bonus that you get. The change to attack is already B+ for axes, but in this case you will actually add more bonus to the damage for the specified amount, for the specified grade. That's what I think, at least. I think B means B+, something of a 10 to 12% damage, if I'm not mistaken. The X is still scaling with B, but you also get an additional bonus from this skill, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Proficiency bonus means that proficiency with this type of weapon will increase more rapidly by the specified amount. You can always see proficiencies in your status tab. It affects the general weapon type. It doesn't affect the certain weapon. Don't mix this with familiarity. Familiarity only affects the weapon that you're using, while proficiency affects the weapon type. Let's continue. Close combat attack key reduction. If there's something says critical in the brackets, it means that its effect, as we already explained, but only when your health is low. Close combat attack key reduction. That means that you're going to have a key reduction on your quick and strong attacks with this weapon while your health is low. Skill break means how much more key damage you're going to do with the learned skills for this weapon, in this case sword, if you do it on the opponent that is guarding. Same thing. Low attack break, skill break, mid attack break. Everything that you break, it means that the opponent needs to be guarding, and if this says skill, it means learned skills for that weapon. Parry is, as I've said, counter attack to the break. Let's say it again then, what it does. Parry affects how much ki is used when you're blocking an enemy attack. Quick attack key reduction. That means if you're doing a square attack, then your ki will be reduced with this weapon. So you don't mix quick with low. Quick and low are different things. Low is stance, quick is square button, strong is triangle button. Wind is an elemental effect that some weapons do have on them. Break. This break stat gives you direct break stat bonus +5 when you're using this weapon. So that means you're going to do more damage to the opponent that is guarding by the specified amount. It's not going to be 60. If it was 60, it's going to be 65 key damage. Human close combat damage, that only means melee damage with this weapon against humans, be it square or triangle button, doesn't matter. Low attack key reduction means that the key will be reduced while using low stance attacks with this weapon. Doesn't matter if it's quick or a strong one. If it says high guard key reduction, it means that you're going to have a reduced key usage when you're guarding in a high stance. So it's easier to block attacks when you're in a high stance if it says high guard key usage reduction or whatever. Strong attack key reduction, that means with this weapon the strong attack will have its key reduced. Let's go into armor. Here everything is pretty straightforward. Damage reduction, defense, damage from behind, life, ninjutsu power. I don't think anything is a mystery here. Receive damage from attack critical, that means that all of the attacks that you receive, physical attacks, will be reduced by this percentage if your health is low. Unlimited ninjutsu means that there's this amount of chance that it says, plus 3.9% chance that if you use a ninjutsu item it will not be consumed. So you'll have a free usage of an item, let's say it like that. It's going to be a free item. There's that chance. Evasion key usage means that if you're evading an attack, your key usage will be reduced. Ninjutsu power all clear. Versus Yokai Realm, you're getting bonus, or actually you're getting a better defense against Yokai Realm, I think that it does. I haven't read the tooltip for that yet at all, but I think it does that. As soon as it says versus poison, versus paralysis, versus Yokai Realm, it means that your defense is buffed. Now we have recurrent damage from poison. That means that you're going to have a lot more poison resistance. Actually, you're going to have more resistance to poison, but from the ticking poison. You know that poison ticks. It does this type of damage, then after 1 second does this. Well, that damage after and after will get reduced by the specified amount. If it says close combat attack enemy poisoned, it means that you're doing more damage to the enemy that is poisoned with any weapon, as long as the enemy is poisoned. This is a fantastic way how to increase your damage. If you're using poison, you equip 2 of these and you got plus 40% damage against the poison opponent. What else can we have here? Recurrent damage for familiarity bonus. It boosts the familiarity bonus to with everything that you have equipped. Change to defense. As we said, change to strength, change to defense. It's changed to you get a buff from a certain stat. This time it's spirits. You can see how defense multiplier has risen from 39 to 70. I'm sorry if I read the numbers wrong because I'm far from a monitor and it's in my editor it's too small of a picture, but you can see the rise. Versus water, versus yokai realm, yokai damage reduction, all defensive skills. Change to defense spirit means that my defense on this particular item will be buffed by certain amount depending on my spirit attribute and depending on the grade. This is B grade, so it went by 11, not bad. Special attacks critical means that all the special effects that you've read on the weapon, on the accessory that you have equipped will get buffed by a certain amount if your health pool is low. I don't know if that means weapons as well and armor, all of the special effects that you have equipped on every piece of equipment, or only on the charm. That's what it's not clear to me. That would be it. I mean, if you guys have any questions, do post in comments. I hope I helped you out a bit, and if we need to have a discussion about some of the stats, do tell. And I shall do my best to answer you.